Reaching out to all the massive of the African continents. The Pan-African show.
Starting out, I just wanted to be the greatest team. I'm going through these places. Get on stage, do my dance, make the crowd crazy. Say go backstage and I'm watching all these clout nigga faces. But you was a real nigga, but you had it down to your people. You a bitch nigga, man. I know these niggas' names, I'm pretty lame, and I swear to God, you can do now this time before I'm naked. I just wanted to rap. I just wanted to tour the whole world with my sport. I just wanted to buy a few houses for my moms. I just wanted to be an inspiration to them masses. And they achieved the kind of what we don't need honest. And they said they can't keep the testicle damage. And they go on a Bible, but now my market journey. And they accolades that will stop a little time. But they think Thomas Puma will go to Kanye instead. Sapa should be on the road, so what he can stay. From the good to your eyes, that is a hiding seat to my team. You see me in the street, you can never take my shit for granted. You can never ever make a nigga see the same vision that you I know. Fuck loyalty and that respect. The only time you break breads when you prove to be your own tail. Lose sleep, sink ships, such an old tale. These are some of the lessons I had to learn the hard way. Like the art of being a dog, keeping your thoughts. I had to realign my purpose, kubadilisha your passage. Now I'm stacking up the stocks, trying to be a boss. I realized that daily I be shaking the wrong hands. All these niggas looking at me changing the program. Really, I was really thinking that we would hold hands. Smashing our clothes so we could all be our own man. Let's go. I was a skinny nigga, I'm feeling all like let's go. Hitting on your coaches, text to me like let's go. It's the blue number, so the red, get it. The first place you need to see my time say,
Got me feeling like a pork pie. Each other messenger coming in right here on the Blackwood Fire Network radio station. Karibuni sana, that is game time too. And of course, you're tuning in onto the Pan-African Bliss Show. Karibuni sana once again. And of course, a quick shout out to everyone listening to us via the radio station on the Rumble page. We are live on Rumble and of course on the YouTube page and on Facebook. And also right here with us on TikTok. Karibuni sana. I say we got DJ Briggs. Karibu sana. Shout out to Nash and to everyone who's also live with us via the radio station. Karibuni sana. My name is Joby. It is exactly 6 minutes to 1 p.m. and I'm quite a little bit late, but better late than never. You know, Karibuni sana. Today we shall be talking about ECOWAS and also what is happening in Malawi as a major focus of the day. We can see that Malawi has actually lifted a visa that is for 79 countries. Sorry, 79, not 39. I don't know why I wrote 39. It's supposed to be 79 countries. But it is so sad to see that actually the first beneficiaries of these opportunities, it is our enemies. We're seeing people like China. We're seeing like Russia. I don't know if I can call Russia right now our enemy because we've seen what they are doing so far into Burkina Faso, into Niger, and also into Mali. And this is actually trying to develop their country in different ways and helping them also fight the terrorism that has been happening in the country. We shall be discussing about that because so far we know it is only 3 African countries that are actually moving with this motion. I'm talking about Kenya, I'm talking about Rwanda, and then I'm talking about now Malawi, which is on the board. And of course, Karibuni sana, let me know, what do you feel about this? And do you feel like we should be seeing actually African countries? And this is something that should have actually happened long time ago, when we claim the so-called independency, where we should have dropped the borders. African countries should have actually lifted the restrictions of, lifting the visa restrictions long time ago. Why is it happening right now when we've seen African people have been paying so much amount of money? We've seen how African countries have been suffering in terms of benefits of trading You know, we should have been benefiting from each other in long time ago when it comes to us trading with each other in so many different ways. But this has been a block that has not been discussed nor lifted since the beginning. But that is what we shall be talking about. It comes with benefits and also disadvantages, and we shall be discussing about that. And also I'll be sharing a video of what is happening in DRC Congo. We've been seeing the displacement of the people in DRC Congo is happening literally every single day, but there's much more of what is literally undiscussed. And also I'll be talking about ECOWAS, like I promised, which has been on our topic for the last 2 weeks, and much more of what is coming from the African continent. Back to the music. This is by the one and only Danny Talks, 5 a.m. And of course, I'll be coming back with the quote of the day after this short musical break, and much more of the conversation right here on the Black Fire Network radio station.
I've been waking at 5. Ndio nipige kipi ya kupisha kurai. Mimi nasaka kenda sio shughuli ya hai. Mimi nabonga sana hati mkitocha ni ngapi. Been working so hard that's part of my life. Na familia tamani wala ngoja retire. Until every day is payday, I'm not working enough. Alafu mboka ikijipa nitakosaje kustart. Wanajaribu gonga mbaya na kupasha my style. Lakini kidole cha kati zo maoni ni trash. Long stop short, cause story about. Buddha keep it short, kama stories are gone. What being gifted like every day Christmas. No days off, nyingi bonga tuya Christmas. Mimi nataka weka mita sita kwenye wristband. Tembeza mkoro overseas na kushika bima. Passion really expand.
Yes, and my quote of the day today says the most beautiful way to start and end the day is with a grateful heart. Again, I always speak, and I'm a high advocate of being grateful. Is that the right time I used? You know, I'm a high advocate of always encouraging people to be grateful for the little things they have in life, for waking up, you're healthy, you don't have any health conditions, you know, and a lot that is how you literally get to unfold much more of the blessings. Just saying thank you for the space you have, for the chances you have in your life, so long as they're favoring you. Sometimes you might be in positions that, you know, you're not favored, but if you are okay, again, just be grateful. That is what basically I'd be saying. This is Danny Talks Intronics with 5 a.m. And of course, we're taking again this short musical break. And of course, we're coming back with much more of the discussion.
Mimi naifanya for the long run. Banki na myself ndio maana jina wanga bossman. Just number 10 right connected Maradona. Company ya nini kama sio kukuwa bola. Wananijua toka kasawa dironga. Ni wapeleka na mtara fulani za kitonga. Shughuli ni kustack live life na kusoza nimekaa na uradi ni kwa program.
And you tune into the Black Fire Radio, and you're listening to
the Pan-African Bliss Show. And of course, karibuni sana once again to everyone listening to us for the first time. And of course, shout to all our TikTok amazing fans and viewers. We have hit 5,000, and this is as a celebration. This is a celebration to us as Black Fire Network. It has been a massive growth, and we appreciate to all those amazing audience and listeners who always keep on coming back and forth. And of course, I'd love to encourage those who are here for the first time and you're wondering, uko wapi, hapa ni wapi? This is the Black Fire Network radio station. And of course, my name is Joby, and you're listening to the Pan-African Bliss Show. It is exactly a minute to 1 p.m. I don't know what's the time on your end. Like I promised today, we shall be discussing about Malawi, which is a positive information that has actually, been we can see trending today on the news, where it has lifted visa restriction for 79 countries. So I'd love to correct that according to what I've written on the topic. It is not 39, but 79 countries. And the first foremost beneficiaries of these opportunities, of course, are the people we're trying to get rid of as African people. But we shall be getting into that. But for now, I want to start with what is happening in Ghana. Now, last week, I think it was last week but one, we talked about Ghana being loaned their stolen wealth, they are stolen artifacts, they are stolen literally culture. Because we've seen, when you go back to how we discuss the looted artifacts of Africa, they were not just given away. We had people who were butchered. We had people who went through a lot. As this gold, silver, all we see even in the coronation of the kings and queens being used. We saw last week, I think 2 weeks ago, we had Ghana being loaned one of their stolen wealth. And today I can see actually the U.S. Museum has also returned artifacts that they stole 150 years ago. But before this happened, the article I read last week, let me try to get this article very quickly. Ghana being loaned their artifacts. Okay, let me get the article very quickly. This was 28th of January, of course, where we had, let me read this very quickly. We had Ghana, agree and close, no thanks. We had the UK returning the looted gold artifacts to Asante King on a loan. It was on a loan. Shout out to Victor. Thank you so much for following the host. Shout out to also I can't read your name. Your name is so hard to pronounce, but shout out to you if you know if I'm struggling to pronounce your name. And also shout out to those who are also listening to us on this other platform. Of course, you can see that they're saying that the UK did return the looted gold. This was on 25th of January this year. This is how the year began for Ghana. And they say that in a historic move, Ghana has secured a 6-year loan of gold treasures looted from the Asante Kingdom during colonial wars, and some 32 items from British Museum will return home 150 years after being stolen. But under that, with the article that I read, before them actually agreeing to return this, majority of the artifacts, apart from those that we can see now being returned, not on loans, majority of them have been signed. These museums have signed a deal that African countries shall never receive what was stolen away from them just like that. There's no way you can own what you literally owned. That is what I did. Remember the article did read that complete. It was from BBC, and I believe with all these articles, they do share different information. But today, what we woke up to, we can see that the U.S. Museum has handed over the artifacts back to Ghana that they did steal 150 years ago. And they're saying that the Ghana traditional Asante Kingdom, known as the Asante Hene, has received 7 royal artifacts that were looted from the kingdom nearly 150 years ago. And the items were repatriated from the Fowler Museum based at the University of California in the US, and handed over to the King Omtufu Ose 222 during ceremony on Thursday. Those African names are so easy and so amazing and sweet to pronounce. They include a gold necklace and an ornamental chair, two gold stools, and ornaments, and 2 bracelets. An elephant tail whisk, which is a ceremonial piece that is held by someone of incredibly high status. That is true, because I remember us growing up, we had this the elephant horn tail, the elephant tail whisk, which is again the way they are describing it, used by people who have a high status. You could not just touch this, and it was form of respecting the African cultures. It's crazy how these people just came to grabbed with so much greed. Again, like I love understanding and saying, without understanding the power creation behind all this, it is always surprising. But they're saying that let me read that again. The items, an elephant tail whisk, this include an elephant tail whisk as well, which is a ceremonial piece that is held by someone of incredible high status, and was also returned. And this is what the magazine of Ghana did publish. And the items have been hosted at a Fowler Museum since 1965, but were looted by British forces from the Asantehene palace in the city of Kumasi, southern Ghana in 1874. The return of items comes less than 2 weeks after the UK British Museum and Victoria and Albert Museum loaned back 32 items that had been looted from the kingdom, mostly in the 19th centuries. It is crazy, and personally I believe Africans and the system of education of today, if it was to be changed and become Afrocentric, this is why we start teaching children the importance of our history, what was taken away from us, and why we need to fight back for it. And as we fight back for it, we should not fight back for it because it has or contains a mountain certain type of wealth. Like you can see right now, the Europeans, how they have. I remember last week I did go. That was when they released this article. I did go deeper and we checked some of the stolen, most valuable resources. Let me check that again for you guys. In Africa, where the, let me see. Not resources, but artifact. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so here I found it. Okay, so I have it. I have the image. We have the Cardinal Diamond, which is $400 million. We have the Rosette Stone, $7.2 million. We have the Savo Lions from Kenya, $3.5 million. And can I remember the Cardinal Diamond? I think it came from, I can't remember. There's the article that broke it all down. And I wish I can find it and read it for you again, you guys. And we also have the Bangawa Queen. The Bangawa Queen came from Cameroon. And this was used as a sign of, it was a spiritual ornament that was used. And it had a symbolic of an African head, something like that, if I can remember from the article correctly. And then we have the Benin bronze, 2.7 million. The Bangawa Queen is 3.4 million. So you can see these people, they stole and even put a price on our wealth. Usually our not our wealth, but our culture, because this was part of the culture. The artifacts were not just things that we had as Africans to beautify our homes. They were deeply and highly considered and used in different ceremonial ways. And that's why I'm saying again, if the system of education in Africa can be changed, I believe right now we should be, if we have Afrocentric type of education being introduced, we should have children being taught and educated what we're fighting for, why we're fighting for this, because the white people have destroyed our culture. And I'm proud of what the Ghanaian minister of, I can't remember the minister of what, but it came forth and stood family and said, we're not just taking this back because we understand it was stolen. We're taking this back because it is so rooted to our culture of healing, of music, of spirituality. That is our religion. We're not talking about Christianity here. So it is really, really deep. And I hope I hope the generation that we're having right now, we're going to tap into that. And I hope my children, me, myself being included as well, my great-grandchildren are going to be part of the line who are going to be fighting for this in the right way, because it is crazy to see the richest continent. You are not only robbed, you are continuously still being robbed, and despite continuously being robbed, they still want to loan you back what they stole away from you. I mean, isn't that some psychopathic type of a mindset, selfish type of, you can't make that up type of a mind. I mean, you stole historically, took away from me, and you didn't just take. People were butchered. People were killed. Africans were tortured. But this has to be forgotten. Then they come back to the continent. And this is why I'm saying, as much as we're focusing on this issue of Malawi lifting visa restriction to 79 countries, Africans, we should be very wary of who are we opening doors to. Because these people have been here continuously exploiting us, taking resources. I mean, I want you to look at Congo today. If you're not aware, kindly just get to TikTok, go to YouTube, check what is happening in Congo. People are being displaced. People are suffering. Children are crying for their parents' lives. It's not peaceful there. Sudan right now, the country is under a blackout, disconnected to communicate with the rest of the world. Why is this happening? The resources in the continent. And this is what we're talking about. They want to loan us back what they stole historically. Want to come back here as we open doors of, these are non-visa country. Okay, come. They continuously want to abuse us. Look at the Chinese, how they slap our men, our women, impregnate our women and leave. And then you, the African man, you're the one to pick up the damages, right? I mean, make that make sense. You, African man in the continent, you're the one to pick up a woman who has a child from a Chinese man and solve that. Is that adding up to you? We need to fight for what is ours. And I think tonight we shall be touching on that tonight. I think we shall be highlighting a little bit of what we had Monique talking on the club Shay when she said, there's a lot she said on that interview which I've not yet finished. But she said it's crazy to see that today, in today's world, we have black people willing to criticize each other. There's something she said which is focused on black people, which was so heavy. Black people were so much focused on, especially those in the industry, because she was calling out the people in the industry, how they want to question, why are you settling with this one? Why is it standing up for you? Why is it there? Because that is what they're trying to break. The system, that is the system that has been built up of where they don't want to see a black woman settling with a black man, having black children, and all that. We'll talk about that tonight. But back on this, I hope the generation and the awakening taking place is going to help us fight this and much more of what we need to stand up for. But moving on to the next conversation, I want to discuss also what is happening in, like I promised, in Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and now Senegal. We know Senegal had a secretive coup, of course, true democracy, which was trying to be installed, which has actually led elections to be postponed and all that. And I believe actually this is, I've said personally, that more we keep on testifying and seeing coups being attempted in African countries, it clearly shows how African people are so done. We have people who are so aware of what has been going on, but all we lack is unity. We've been divided by tribalism. We've been divided by a lot of things making us think we're different. But if you look at the situation we're going through, as a whole, as a continent, as black people, we're suffering the same way. The same way. Okay? The same way. Shout out to you, Samuel. Karibu sana. Nice to see you on today's conversation. And a quick shout out to also user John Molly on TikTok. Shout out to Jimmy. Karibu sana on today's conversation. And I also see Keith is saying, yes, Joby. Exactly. I mean, and we need so many people waking up like that. So many people waking up like that. Right now, ECOWAS has pulled up a meeting. Of course, they're scared of what is happening. 4 countries already, they're trying to install democracy in this motherfucker. Like, are you crazy? We need to do something. Tinubu, wake up. Why are you sleeping in your job? You are the CEO of ECOWAS. What is happening in these 4 African countries? We already have 3 defeating us. And now you want to speak about the 4th one? Are you saying Africans are waking up? Hell yes. Yes. Africans are waking up, and it is so amazing to witness, so sweet to watch, so beautiful to watch all this happen. So we have, of course, they're calling it crisis in Senegal, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, which has prompted a meeting of the ECOWAS board. And they're saying that the Economic Community of the West African states has convened an emergency meeting to address pressing issues across the region. And among the key concerns are the political turmoil in Senegal and ongoing tensions with military regimes in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The gathering in Abuja, Nigeria, scheduled for Thursday, February 8th, that was yesterday, will see foreign ministers deliberating on the current security and political challenges facing Western African countries. While the attendance of the Senegal minister remains unconfirmed, the focus is on finding solutions to the region's complex issues. We don't need no solutions. We're trying to find solutions for ourselves, and we already found it. Why won't you let us make decisions from henceforth from there? Why do you need a whole meeting to just discuss? Why are you so bothered about what I'm doing in my country? Why won't you check and do what your people are asking you? Nigerians are not employed. It is just last week or this week, I was reading last week, on Friday, when we were having a very amazing fun show here, where we saw Tinubu coming out to defend Nigerians not being number one cyber thieves and all that. Of course, Nigerians are cyber criminals, or number one cyber, whatever you want to call them. They are the number ones. We know that worldwide. It is very well known. But of course, majority of the Africans too are. But what leads Africans to get into this scamming, platforms, to get to this point where we now taking advantage of each other, is because we have selfish people who have just decided to keep opportunities for themselves, to choose families to employ them. I know connection. I know my uncle, I know my niece, I know my ancestors, all that you can say. It is super, super crazy. And I also see kids says that meeting of the bootlicks, who cares? I know it is, nobody cares, but of course we need to be alerted of what move are they willing to make. What's the next move they are going to take? Because if Senegal for real, which I know it's not going to happen, it was a secretive attempted coup, which was not successful. They have pushed forward their elections. Let me check to which date. When is Senegalese election? Senegal election. All right, so that is in 15th of December 2024. They have pushed it towards the end of the year because of all this that is happening. So that means, one, they are threatened, of course. The current puppets of the country are threatened because true democracy is about to happen. And of course, I remember this prediction was done by one of the guys I shared the video of. He said Senegal is going to have a coup. We're going to see Chad also having a coup. We're going to see Congo having a coup. We're going to see literally countries having coups because Africans are waking up. And we are tired. I mean, aren't you tired? As an African person where you're listening to me from, aren't you tired of having puppets? And don't you think if we form unity, how we can conquer these people? Because we think they are the majority, but they're not. All they sell is fear and guns to us. But trust me, we are so many, they can't they can't kill all of us. They can't. And you know what? The African woman is so fertile. You can have 10 babies, continuous generational wealth. Not what they were telling us, or what they're telling us, what I was discussing yesterday. Use these methods of family planning. As Africans and as an African and as a woman, yes, I need to protect myself, but can we have another form and method which is safe for us as African women to use without having cancers, without having any sort of diseases, infections, or even me bleeding all the time? Kind of family planning. That is what I'm talking about. Personally, I want a revolution in my country. I want revolution in Africa. I want to see all these African leaders gone, these puppets, let's call them who they are. Because we didn't select them. Again, we think we turn up for this election. Oh, you're voting for on the ballot paper. I'm signing. It's this one on the ballot paper today. It's Tinubu. Next year it's gonna be Ramaphosa. You think we choose these people? If their mission is to be here 10 years, they're gonna be here for 10 years. If their mission is to be there for 20 years, they're gonna be there for 2 decades. You know what? Because we don't control anything as Africans. We don't. And this is why we need to switch our minds very quickly from religion, how we think about politics, how we think about education, how we think about the programs we have programming our mind, the television, the TVs, and all that. But let me read what ECOWAS board had to say. They're saying that a gathering in Nigeria, this schedule was done, of course, yesterday, and we'll see foreign ministers deliberating on the current security and political challenges facing the Western African countries, while attendance of the Senegalese minister remains unconfirmed. The focus is on finding solutions to the regional complex issues. ECOWAS has faced criticisms for its handling of recent events, including the postponement of Senegal presidential election, because they are threatened, baby. They are threatened. They know what people. There's people. Let me tell you, it's gonna be massive and crazy, especially if Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, if these 3 countries turn up to be what we've been dreaming about as Africans, this is gonna wake up African youths. And then having this thing called cell phone, they brought to us thinking we're gonna become dormants and TikTokers only. They don't know now. They are the ones TikToking right now. They are the ones dancing. It's crazy. We're here getting informed. We're educated. I'm loving how I see young people using platforms, educating each other. And I love especially those who are like, I don't care if you get mad. Because, yes, Africans, again, we love getting mad because of being told the truth. Because the truth hurts. That's the truth. The truth does hurt. But we need it. We need to be slapped with it. And that's what I was saying yesterday, even if it will take those, because I believe we have fast learners and slow learners. If Africa was to put on a restriction that, on how we can make some changes, those slow learners and those we know might sell the country, but we can change them. We'll have to face serious consequences, We'll have to. But yes, of course, they changed the Senegalese presidential election a day because they know what is happening. They're saying despite urging Dakar to adhere to the regional election timetable, doubts linger over the organization's effectiveness in influencing member states. The credibility of ECOWAS is under scrutiny, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, especially following the coup in Niger last July, and calls for military intervention have warned, and leaving former presidential Mohamed Bazoum detained without reinstatement, raising concerns about organization efficiency in addressing political upheavals. And the postponement of the Senegal election adds another layer of crisis, highlighting ECOWAS' perceived limitations. And yeah, that is what is happening. It is super, super crazy. It is crazy to see how they easily. I'm certain you're gonna see Macron, Antonio Guterres, and all those people, trying to communicate and trying to raise concerns about what is happening in Senegal, and they're going to now be very much invested in the country in so many different ways. Trust me, we're gonna see now France and maybe different other Western European countries and all that, China probably, all those countries that seek influence in Africa, coming to Senegal, trying to find a way on how they will not be chased away, how their ties, their deals will not be broken, because that is what Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger has done. And it would be massive again if these 3 Western African countries get to actually support Senegal in them installing democracy, I don't know if that is possible. I don't know if it's possible, if it is possible for another country to help another one to install democracy. But if it is possible, I believe then Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso have it. That is as for me. I believe they do have it, and I believe they can make it happen. Literally, they can make it happen. But moving forward, we also want to talk about the matters of security. But before we do that, I want to share this video that is coming from DRC Congo. We've been seeing the displacement of the people, and that's why I began by saying we cannot, again, focusing on the major debate of today. As much as African countries, we are now lifting visa restrictions, we need to be careful. Who are we inviting back in our countries? Who are we inviting back here? Do we really need to be this friendly with these other countries that we try? We can see Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger fighting. Or do we need to form unity as a continent? I mean, what's the time? That's the question. What's the time, Africa? Is it time to be friendly, continue being friendly, or is it time to see who the enemy is? Let me share this very quickly. So I'll translate this. What this man is very, very furious, very angry. He's talking in Swahili, and I can read what is also, because I see also on the video it is translated what he was saying. He says that we don't want them here because they are the ones destroying our country. Residents of the city of Goma in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo took to the streets to protest Western interference amid heightened militia violence. Footages show the protests are during burning US and EU flags as they mourned the most recent the recent victims killed by the M23 rebels. Tens of thousands of people have been fleeing the Central African countries east of as the M23 rebels are advancing on the regional capital. The protests blame the Western-backed government under President Felix Tshisekedi for enabling the M23 advance. Despite a ceasefire having been broken last year, it has been repeatedly violated by the UN mission and the military, having long forced criticisms for their inability to contain the rebels and pacify the region. Now the rebels reportedly surrounded the strategic towns of Sake, a crucial milestone before advancing to Goma, the capital of Northern Kivu. In the past, there have been several reports of foreign companies engaging in the region's illegal mining industry as armed groups such as M23 rebel wrestle for control over the resource-rich region mines to fund their operations, and many fear that as long as armed groups continue to reap the profits from mining, they will keep earning the cash to kill. And that is true. And of course, we know Kagame is highly involved in this. Museveni is highly involved in this. Most of the African leaders are highly involved in this, because this is not just being conducted by 2 African leaders. I believe the others also back it, and that is why it is happening. And that's why we see them not calling out Tshisekedi to fix what is happening, despite decades of people crying for help.
Tunakatala les Americains mwinchi yetu sababu kwa M23 kuko basoda ba Amerika wenye biko na kia piga RDC na biko na collaboration wenye biko na wafinancer armement na M23 kuwapa jua kubatosha maminere banabeba iko Union Européenne yote tunachoma tunakatala sababu hiyo Union Européenne.
Yep, and of course, if you can see from the video, they are banning the UN flag, the US, the EU flag, the UN, all of the flags, all of them. And the man is very, very furious. He's saying that we're tired. So Kedi is backing this up, and we've been killed. And this is because people are cashing to kill. People are gaining money for us to be killed. And it is so, so sad. And this one, again, I am saying, African countries, African presidents, these schools that you have been selected, is it time right now for you to see? And I understand you won't do it because this is not your mission. It is a mission for different people who are going to actually take over power from you. It is completely not your mission. I understand we're talking to people who are not assigned to do what it is expected to be done. Of course, not by you, but we will have people who are going to do it. We are seeing visa restrictions being lifted every single day. And that's why I'm questioning. Is it a high time of you opening the borders and telling African people, finally, we need to unite, we need to talk, we need to find our own solution? Or is it a time to be inviting Russia, China, Italy, all those countries that don't want us in their country? Yesterday I shared a video of where there's this woman educating and warning African people, stop leaving your jobs, going to Canada, going to Italy, going to these racist countries, thinking you're going to be loved, and even thinking you're going to get a job that you've been promised. It's never going to happen. And that's what I was saying yesterday. We need to cram up with our own black media, gathering all this kind of information. I don't care, negative, positive. We need to share what black history, continuous history is, and what it is all about, what it has been all about, what it is, and what it is expected to be. We should actually predict our future. We should be able to predict our future. But anyway, it is so sad. I speak from pain of this man that is feeling as well.
Aba ndio wanawateteaka wakati nchi yetu inatashi brand ya sharish. Aba ndio wanaambia Kisekedi aache kupigana, yeye baende kwanza kumazungumzo. Na ndio maana tunasema hatubataki kuinchi yetu ya Kongo. Tunaambia Felix Kisekedi na guvernema yake baweze kukibiza ambassador.
Just listen to how people are literally calling on. This is so sad. I wish you guys understood Swahili. I wish you felt the. I know you can feel the pain, maybe, but you can feel the pain much more from the language, and it's so sad. This is a man calling out on Skedi, the recent selected again president, who has been there for 5 years. He has done nothing, despite just calling the UN peacekeepers to leave the country, which we saw them doing so during the election day. Why during the election day? Because majority of the people in DRC Congo are very much aware of your deeds, what you've been doing in the country, destabilizing the country in the name of peacekeeping. So you are threatened because majority of the youth, the people would be gathered and might attempt even during the election day. Because what is happening in Senegal? What is happening in Senegal? Why did they change the election day? They were supposed to have election very soon. Why change it? This is so crazy. This man is literally begging Skedi to just get rid of, stop cooperating, get rid. But I understand, my friend, we're talking to the wrong people. We're talking to the wrong people. Again, I'm glad to understand so many things right now, which I've been connecting. For you to be, to put up with a certain, to fit in a certain, how do I say, organization, or for you to belong where you belong, you must have passion for what you do. For us to have African leaders, Pan-African leaders, in the name of people like Patrice Lumumba, Robert Mugabe, we must have people who are first willing to die, knowing you're not just leading a country, you are dedicating your life to this country. You are dedicating your effort, your ability, your thoughts, with the help of the team you have, to build and make this country what people are asking of you. It has to come from passion. Like I've been saying, it has to come from you doing this because you want to do it. And it's okay. There's some days when you wake up, even despite you being in the position and fitting where and belonging, being where you belong, sometimes when you wake up feeling tired, it's okay not to do it for a day. but consistency. Trying, perfecting, trying to at least, take away those mistakes that have been there, makes people believe in you, makes people give you even more chances because you are trying. But these leaders don't try. All we keep on seeing is the same repeated mistakes of people demonstrating, people begging, people asking, people crying, people dying. It's a sad world to be in.
Tunasema baweze kukimbiza ambasade ya Etazini. Hasuitaki nchi yetu ya Kongo sababu hapa ndio wanatutesa. Hapa ndio wanaharibisha nchi yetu. Hii kitu ni hapa Amerika. Tunakatala leza.
Yes, and of course that is it. For those who are with me on StreamYard, I bet you guys have seen what is, the man is very, very angry. You can see them burning the flags, and this is what we need to see. We've been witnessing this happening in terms of them burning even the Bibles. Africans are burning Bibles right now. We can see Africans waking up and realizing we've been lied to. We've been lied to for so long. And I'm proud personally of my brothers and sisters, those who are aware of what is happening. It's not like I'm not proud of those who are not aware of what is happening, but we have people who are willing to learn and those who are not willing to learn. And you can't save everyone, like you keep on saying every day. We'll save those who we can. We'll have to let go of those who we cannot save. It is just as simple as that. As simple as that. But as we get to the major focus of the day, which is now about Malawi lifting the visa restriction to 79 for 79 countries. It is a positive news to report. This is something very, very positive to report. But again, it comes with a caution. Who are we allowing in our country? Last weekend, on Saturday morning, here in Kenya, I think this is because I don't know how many countries. Let me see how many countries are visa free in Kenya. How many countries are visa free in Kenya? Okay, so 44 countries. So let's see among the 44 countries, how many do we which are we talking about? Then from there, I'll let you know which story are we connecting with. But a big quick shout out to Joe Mosquito, shout out to Hair Queen, Karibu Sana, shout out to Thomas, Karibuni Sana. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm talking about. And welcome to today's conversation right here on the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. But yeah, they're saying 44 countries. Let me get to read the article of how many we have. As February 2024, Kenya passport holders can travel visa-free to 44 countries and territories. And this is, we have Barbuda, Antigua, and Barbuda. I've never heard such of a country. Damn, that exists. Okay. We have Bahamas, we have Barbados, we have Benin, we have Botswana, British Virgin Island, Burundi, Cayman, Democratic Republic of Congo, Cook Island. Okay, we have Cook Island. You guys, do you know these islands? All right, I want to go to the islands, so long as it's not where we had Jeffrey Epstein. We also have Cuba, we have Dominica, we have Ethiopia, we have Fiji, we have Ghana, we have Grenada, we have Haiti, we have Hong Kong, we have Jamaica, we have Kiribati. Yeah, but I want to see if we have Italy. We don't have Italy. But last weekend, we had 2,100 Italians who came in via the ocean or via the water, through the ship, whatever you want to call it. That was last weekend in Mombasa. They arrived on Saturday morning. So many of them. So my question was, do these people have any authorization of getting in? And why are there so many of them? 2,001 Italians flocking Mombasa. All white people. All of them. It is crazy. But yes, we have Kenya, Rwanda, and Malawi right now, the three African countries that are have lifted the restriction of visa in their country. But yes, they're saying that Malawi has removed visa restriction for travelers from 79 countries in an effort to boost tourism and trade in the economy. That's why I said African countries should have done this long time ago. And this is why it takes me back to where if we did this as a continent, we'd be so far, we'd not be asking the IMF, the World Bank for any money or loans. We'd actually be running our own currency. Imagine how beautiful that would be. But they're saying that the Homeland Security Minister, Ken Zikhałe, in a gazette notice on Wednesday, amended the immigration regulations, effectively lifting visa barriers for citizens from the UK, China, Russia, Germany, Australia, Canada, Belgium, Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, France, and many others. I am proud of having Gambia, Ghana, and the rest of the African countries being mentioned, being part of the beneficiaries of this. But why do you need Canadians to be coming here visa-free? What trade are we doing with the Canadians? You as an African person, you as a Malawian, you can't go to Canada and get a good job. You won't lack to face racism over there. Same in China, same in the UK, same in Russia probably, I'm not sure, but yeah, Germany, and the rest. So why is it that African country and this president are not telling people, if we do this, this is what you're going to be facing and dealing with? This feels like literally allowing asylum seekers like Rwanda, basically. You know, it feels like Kagame allowing asylum seekers to come into the country. The only difference is that we've not given them houses or housing or even the free healthcare and all that. We're not going all the way like that as Malawi, but it feels like it. They're saying the nationals from the Southern African Development Community and the Common Market of Eastern and Southern African also exempt from visa requirement. And this includes countries that impose visa requirements on Malawi citizens, and the changes also include exemptions for certain groups such as diplomats and government officials and countries that have mutual exchange agreement for multiple entry visa with Malawi. The validity of multiple entry visa in Malawi is known up to 12 months according to the new visa regulations. And they're saying that this monumental decision isn't just about visa, it's about unleashing the untapped potential of our beloved Malawi and inviting the world to experience its wonders firsthand. It's such amazing good news, you know. The British Embassy in Malawi urged its nationals to take advantage of the relaxed visa restriction to visit a range of popular tourist attractions in southern African countries. Malawi joins Kenya and Rwanda in opening up their countries for African travelers without visa restriction, and the two East African countries have announced visa-free entry for African visitors. This is amazing. But how many Africans have passports? Let's start there. Today in Kenya, I read, and of course during this week and this month and last month, we've had so many people coming out, content creators calling out on Huduma Center for delaying of passports, delaying of identification cards. We also have our government saying that we have people who have actually delayed also picking up their passports. We shall pay a fine. Remember, they said if you delay taking your documents, you have a fine to pay. So Kenyans, be alerted. Be very alerted. So this is positive. But how many Africans can travel? That is another question. As much as this is happening, our economy is very pathetic as a continent. We're trying to perfect it as Mali and Burkina Faso and Niger, I speak for myself. But the rest of the African countries won't stand up. You know, they won't try act like us. They won't try act like us at all. We're trying to enable our people to experience the beauty of the continent. Of course, we're gonna put all these visa-free restrictions, but for now we can't do it because you need to understand we're still fighting France. We're still fighting the UN. We're still fighting the EU. But it's gonna come there and our people are gonna benefit. But what about Kenya? What is Kenya doing? What is Rwanda, Malawi doing? Can the people travel? Do they even have jobs? Oh, I mean, look at the development of the countries. How is it? Oh, so we stop at that. But anyway, family, you figure out there. That is my conversation of the day, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. Joe Mosquito, thank you so much for tapping the screen. And to everyone who has been with me on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on the radio station, on Rumble, asanteni sana. And for those who shall be catching the show also on a replay, I hope you guys get to enjoy. And also let me know what are your thoughts regarding all these conversations we've had over here. Do you think Africans, we should introduce, and it's not even a thought, we should introduce Afrocentric schools, let African children be taught the history of our looted artifacts, the benefits of them, how historically are we tapped into them, and why we need to fight back for them, so we can have museums like the British Museum, Victoria Museum, Albert Museum, who said African countries should not, and have signed a deal permanently, that African countries should not gain back what belongs to them. So the question is posed unto you, my listeners. If in case you shall be catching this on a replay, let me know. What are your thoughts regarding that? And of course, also regarding Malawi, what are your thoughts? And also regarding Mali, Burkina Faso, and Senegal, which is right now making the ECOWAS shake. And of course, some Western foreign powers to shake. What are your thoughts regarding that? Much love, family. See you guys later. I hope you have the rest part, beautiful rest part of your day. And see you guys later tonight on the Africa Today show. Shout out to Obe, karibu sana. But of course, also kwaheri. Umekuja late, but I hope to see you guys later tonight on the Africa Today show. John Mosquito is saying that I am tapped out of my thumb. Thank you so much. I appreciate for the likes. But anyway, much love. See you guys later tonight on the Africa Today show. This has been the Pan-African Bliss show, and I've been your host, Joby. This is Danny Intronics again with the 5 a.m. and I hope you guys get to enjoy this. Danny Talks with 5 a.m. Much love.
Yeah. Danny Talks. Kuna days I've been waking at 5. Ndio nipige hizi ya kupisha price. Mimi nasaka kwenda sio shughuli ya hype. Mnabonga sana hadi mkichocha.
Big up to God's favorite.
It's so hard that's part of my life. Na familia mtaani wanangoja return. Until every day is payday, I'm not working enough. Anavumboka ikijipa nitakusaje kustani.